Dennis and Casper from Submission Radio standing here with Dan Kelly ahead of his fight with Steve, the Creepy Weasel Montgomery. Now, Dan, have you ever fought a Creepy Weasel before? And how does one prepare for a fight with one?
No, I haven't. I used to own a ferret when I was young. It was my favourite pet. I used to go rabbiting with it, which was awesome. I think weasels are similar to ferrets, but yeah, I've never fought one before. They're nasty little critters though, so we'll see how it goes.
Is this going to be tough for you, given the ferret background? You know, thinking of the Creepy Weasel, is there going to be a bit of a reluctance to you on your part?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. As the stakes get high, you know, it's me or the weasel, so it has to be me.
Weasel's got to go now. Steve is your new opponent and is known for being the ADT guy who has the seizures on Tough 21. With only one fight in the UFC being a first-round KO loss, is it tough not to overlook him going into UFC 193?
Not at all. He's in there for a reason. He's from one of the top gyms in the world. I've watched some of his other fights. Granted, the last one he had wasn't great for him, but the last one I had wasn't great for me either. So you don't underestimate anyone.
No overlooking?
No, not at all. We've taken this very seriously. We take every fight seriously. Every fight in the UFC could be your last, so you've got to put on a good performance.
You mentioned your previous fight, thus far the only blemish in your record, you know, and that was obviously a loss to Sam Alvey. They said the first loss is the hardest. How did you handle it? And is it something that's still bothering you since this is a sport where, you know, you're largely known as good as your last fight?
Oh yeah, I hate losing. It's not my first loss. I mean, I lost in the house. I've lost heaps of times in judo tournaments. You just get up, dust yourself off, and carry on again. It's never pleasant losing. It's never pleasant losing in front of a whole heap of people. You work hard. Just got to get back on the horse and keep going. That's all I can do.
Well, people know when they face Dan Kelly they're facing a top-level grappler, but what have you been doing to advance your striking after your fight with Sam? And are you doing anything differently this time around? Will we see a K1 Dan Kelly at UFC 193?
Yeah, sure, why not? Why not? Yeah, no, we've been working pretty hard. We had an opponent change about 6 weeks ago. That changed the game plan a little bit, but didn't change the things I've been doing to try and get better. So I'm hoping to be able to showcase better striking again, and we'll see what happens.
In all seriousness though, what do you think makes Steve dangerous coming into this fight?
He's tall, rangy, southpaw's always awkward, good high kicks, good knees, and the capacity to keep me at range is probably going to be his plan. And yeah, really tall guy. They're the big things.
When you compare the two opponents to each other, who would you say is a tougher challenge, your original opponent or Steve?
So the original opponent was a BJJ world champion, so he was really, really good in one area. His striking was quite aggressive, but I think Steve's more well-rounded, and he's an awkward matchup being a tall southpaw. So everyone's hard. It's just you focus on who you've got in front of you. I mean, I was happy with the last matchup. I'm happy with this matchup. I don't care. I just want to get in the fight.
Your last fight in Melbourne was actually in 2013 for a company outside the UFC. Now you're fighting back where it all began. And when the dust settles, what do you want people to walk away from your fight saying?
Wow, that guy actually doesn't look as old as he really is. That's what I'm just saying. No, I want to put on a good performance. I mean, me and Jake are the first Melbourneites to fight in the UFC in Melbourne. I want to put on a good show, and I want him to go, yeah, this guy deserves to be here, and keep going with my career.
Well, he's like a Brad Pitt or a fine cheese. Never gets really old, Dan. Best of luck at UFC 193, man.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Cheers, guys.